Ukrainian soldiers advanced into a Russian trench in the Zaporizhia direction, and they found a body, after I showed them photos of this guy Vitaly, they said it looks like him, and they found the notebook in the pocket of his uniform, and so the Russians had withdrawn. His comrades had abandoned him there. His body was lying there, so it was the Ukrainian soldiers who buried him.
Speak now to the Sunday Times' Louise Callaghan, who has got hold of a letter from a Russian soldier who was serving on the front line. And we can speak to Louise now. Morning, Louise.
Hi, good morning.
So tell us about the letter, the diary, effectively, that you found from this Russian soldier. First of all, who was he? Tell us a little bit about him.
So it's a series of letters written over a period of about a month, in the form kind of a diary of letters to his wife. But yeah, this is a guy, a young guy, about 31 years old, father of one. His name's Vitaly, and he's married to a woman called Katerina. And they live in Moscow, and his family said that he didn't have any military experience. He was mobilized into the army and sent to the front, and in the southeast, in Zaporizhia, which is seeing really, really heavy fighting at the moment. So the southeast of Ukraine. And he was at the front line, and he wrote in this small blue notebook a series of letters to his wife and notes to himself over a period of about a month from November to January this year.
And it started off that he was kind of hopeful that he might be able to get home, maybe get home for Christmas, spend a bit of time with his family. But gradually you can kind of see that the morale is dipping.
Absolutely. So he begins just repeating endlessly that he wants to go home. And I think what's really, really clear from reading these letters is that he just loves his family so much. It was really, really striking to me when I read it, just how clear that was. He desperately wanted to go home. He writes again and again, whatever happens, I'm going to make it back to you. I'm going to make it back to you. And then you can see over time how, as you say, he gets just terrified. He hasn't seen war before, and he's lying in a trench, and his commanders don't care about him. They don't have enough equipment, and he starts talking about, can he shoot himself in the foot? Could he crush his leg with a log when he's cutting down trees to reinforce their observation point? Could he kill himself? He is having intrusive thoughts about killing himself, killing others. And he just repeats again and again, I don't know why I'm here. I don't want to kill anyone. Don't want to kill any, he's basically saying that he doesn't support the war and that he doesn't want to kill any Ukrainians.
Mm. And then these diary entries abruptly stop, don't they?
Yeah, so they stop at the beginning of January, and we know that he was fighting until about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So we don't know what happened to him during that time. Did he become increasingly brutalized, or did he, was he just so tired that he stopped writing, or did he get better phone signals so he could start calling his family instead? We just don't know what happened.
And you say we knew he was fighting till a few weeks ago. That's because his body was actually found.
Yeah, so a few weeks ago, Ukrainian soldiers advanced into a Russian trench in the Zaporizhia direction, and they found a body, after I showed them photos of this guy Vitaly, they said it looks like him, and they found the notebook in the pocket of his uniform, and so the Russians had withdrawn. His comrades had abandoned him there. His body was lying there, so it was the Ukrainian soldiers who buried him.
Gosh. And I know you've been speaking to his family. It must be incredibly difficult for them to know everything that he wrote, everything he was going through, and then even more so the fact that his fellow soldiers just left him.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not just them, it's so many Russian families have this, where the state does not admit to them that their loved ones have been killed in action. They're just, eternally missing, because they don't want to pay out to them. They don't want to give them payments that would support the family if they've missed someone, if they've had someone killed in action. So they just don't tell them what's happened to their loved ones.
Gosh, and I mean, for many, in your piece that is in the Sunday Times today, and as ever is a really compelling read, you write about the fact that it is often Russian families who are turning to the Ukrainian authorities to get information on their sons, brothers, husbands that have been lost.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a number of Ukrainian organizations who are doing this work of great humanity, really, which is helping families find closure and find out what happened to their loved ones. The Russian state, the Russian Ministry of Defense is just openly lying to them. So this is the only option that they have, is to go to the Ukrainians.
Mm-hmm. Louise, thank you for speaking to us this morning. Really interesting to speak to you, and obviously a really difficult issue, but thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Louise Callaghan there from the Sunday Times.